month ago, I tested the Amazfit to see how it stacked up against the Whoop, and it did alright. But today, we've got a much more promising contender, the brand new Loop Strap by Polar. That's bipolar, not... you get it. These sold out on pre-order and people have been waiting weeks to get their hands on these, so these are hot property. I've been testing this out for the past week and the big question is this really a Whoop killer? First impressions, the package and design are very well put together. And I know this doesn't add to the performance, but it does add to the user experience. Design-wise, it's very similar to the Whoop, but a little more watch-like with a strap instead of a clip. Weight-wise, it's 29 grams compared to Whoop's 26.5 grams, so a bit more of an arm workout. Polar also includes a spare strap in the box, which is very useful and of course is something Whoop charge extra for, and I don't even want to get started with the Whoop 5.0 strap scandal again. Price is £150 and that's including the extra strap and a charger. However, to charge it does require taking the band off, but with 8 days worth of battery life, it means you only need to charge it once a week, so it's not that big of a deal. Just make sure you remember to put it back on. It charges with a USB-C and it takes around 60 to 90 minutes for a full charge, so something to keep in mind if you travel a lot. The strap itself is soft and comfortable even when sleeping, and I didn't notice any discomfort the past week of wearing it. It is also water resistant, so you can shower or swim without having to worry, though you just need to change the strap afterwards, unless you don't mind wearing a wet strap. Now the setup is quick, you just need to download the Polar Flow app and you're good to go. And I found the Polar Flow app is the definition of simplistic. Just look at the main page, for example. You have battery status, train and load, activity and sleep, which is really the bare minimum of what you'd expect from a tracker. Your daily activity goals are decided by the metrics you input during setup. So alongside your height and weight, they ask for training frequency and activity levels. I chose frequent for the gym and level 2 for activity. As someone who spends most of his day sat at a desk, I thought this was pretty generous. However, I found that I'm easily hitting double my activity goal by midday by walking less than 5,000 steps. So I think adding step count into your activity goal would be a good feature for them to add into this in the future. Like many budget trackers, the Loop really struggled with my sleep at the start. For the first few nights, it didn't track my sleep or only tracked part of my sleep. However, after a few days, it seemed like the strap calibrated or became more accurate, and the sleep data now is almost identical to my Whoop sleep data, which I found really impressive. However, the main drawback is how the data is presented. For example, Whoop shows hours needed, hours slept, and recovery in a clear, simple way. Polar, however, uses stars and lines, which just makes it harder to understand what your data means. This seems to be a common issue with cheaper devices. They're just a bit messy and less aesthetically pleasing. And I don't know if this is because Whoop have trademarked their user interface, but I'm yet to find another fitness tracker that matches Whoop's user-friendly design. For training, you can record the session yourself, or if you forget, the strap will record it for you. Just select the activity you're doing and push record. Unfortunately for gym workouts, it seems to be nothing more than a stopwatch, in comparison to the Whoop, for example, which will show you calories burned and heart rate. And as someone who has started heart rate training again, I find this very useful. For cardio like running, you do get a little more data, such as average running pace as well as distance. Again, it would be useful to have your heart rate here. I mean, the strap is monitoring your heart rate, so it would be useful to just display it when you're training. If you do forget to record your workout, the strap will automatically detect it for you. However, it's pretty sensitive. I have it set to medium, and when I'm working from home, it will give me bouts of 10 minutes of activity, which I think is when I'm making cups of tea. So that's how sensitive it is, or how excited I'm getting about making a cup of tea. I was excited to see they also have a fitness test option in the app, though it requires a separate heart rate sensor, even though there's already one built into the strap. Again, why? And after a week of testing, I'm positive to say this. Okay, so it's been a few more days since I made this video, and my thoughts on the Loop have changed a little bit. I really wanted to love this strap. I mean, there are positives. It's comfortable, it looks good, but the reality is the sleep tracking has not been very good the past couple of days. The app is just a bit messy and the data is really difficult to read. And most importantly, the lack of heart rate variability, which I rely on with my Whoop to help monitor my training, my recovery, as well as my performance. And without that, it just seems a little bit pointless. If Polar could just fix the app, improve the sleep tracking and add HRV, this could be a Whoop contender. But even then, it'd still be missing features like the VO2 max estimates, the fitness level testing, and the new pace of aging, which I've really been enjoying. I was really hoping that this would be the one, but for now, it looks like it'll be the one I'm returning.